Third person I'd like to thank is the gentleman standing next to me, Terry Lewis, who is my best friend and who I wouldn't be in this business if it wasn't for this guy right here. This is my man here, Terry Lewis.
Hey guys, legendary producers, songwriters, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are probably two of the greatest songwriter producers in a generation. They're responsible for over 50 Billboard #1 singles. Now I know most of us are used to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Janet Jackson because they're responsible for the transformation of Janet Jackson from her Control album to River Nation to the Janet album to all the albums after that. But if you think back at when they started, I mean, they started as members of The Time, a group that was under Prince's label.
Very nice, very nice.
Speaking of building, we're going to talk about a little bit not really how we got together, but how we built Flight Time.
Yes, that'll be good.
Flight Time used to be a band.
Used to be.
And you were the leader of the band.
Oh, those were the days.
We had some good people in that band too.
We had Jelly Bean Johnson. Mm-hmm. We had Cynthia Johnson, who went on to sing
you take me to
Funky Town. She was like, that was a #1 record in the world.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we had, can we say Xander?
Oh, Xander.
Alexander ONeal.
Cute.
Pretty fine.
Handsome.
Whatever. We had Morris Day from time to time.
Most Day. We had Sue
Ann Caldwell. She was a big record maker on MCA. Who else we had? Bunch of people. Too many people to name. Jesse Johnson came in there, yeah.
Bunch of people.
Yeah, bunch of people. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Monty Moyer.
Yeah.
Who else?
Somebody else.
Anyway.
That was back in the day. Long ago.
And so far away here. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Because now we're in 1993 and everything is good.
Yes. So anyway, we went from Flight Time into The Time. He became the leader of the group.
That's right.
Sort of. Terry was the secret leader. Morris was the out front leader. And we kind of got the itch to be producers. Actually, at Terry's insistence. We were in Houston. After making a couple of gold records, we weren't making any money.
Yeah, we used to make, see, everybody thought we were like large and in charge.
Yeah.
We were large and not in charge.
Right.
We had paychecks. I got pay stubs at home just to keep me very humble, to make me remember I was large, gold albums all over the wall, and I was making $150 a week.
And after taxes?
I was making $118. Woo! I did good.
That's right.
I was famous.
That's right.
I was rich. I was large, but not in charge. I couldn't even buy myself a plane ticket.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, I used to love to go on tour though. We used to love to go on
tour.
tour.
Was the funnest part.
Yeah, because
everybody walk your body, all that stuff.
We used to make more money on tour.
Because we got per diem.
Yeah.
And we used to save our per diem.
We used to get $30 a day.
$30 a day.
That was $150 a week.
We were rolling.
Can't do no more.
That's right. And we save our per diem. We go out and buy little things. We save it up, buy little sunglasses, hats,
Yeah, you get 210 and 150. We was rolling.
That's right.
Large.
Rolling. So now, then the next thing that happened was you told me, Terry Lewis said to me, I'm going to LA because I think they need us out there.
Yeah, you used to watch cowboy movies. I used to watch cowboys all the time. I was forming a posse. I'm going to LA. Who's coming?
Everybody's like, I ain't coming, man. Don't forget, man. You crazy, man.
Man, I'm saving my per diem. I'm going to buy me VCR.
That's right. VCR is one of the big things in those days. I know you kids think VCR has been around forever, color TVs and all that stuff. No, take it from a couple old men.
That's right.
That's some new stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
So everybody was going to buy VCR. So I said, hey, Terry, I'll go. So
Jimmy Jam said, well, we going to stay. I said, well, we get us some girls. We stay at some girls' house.
Girlfriend.
Cute, pretty, fine, handsome, whatever.
And that's what we did. So we went and stayed with some girls. We got the one ads out. We got a little, we bought a little 4-track from out the one ads. Mm-hmm. We had a little Casio keyboard. Terry had his bass. We had a little microphone. We had a bathroom. That was our reverb. So we're doing hand claps and singing and stuff. And we did our first demo tape. And we passed that demo tape along to a lot of influential people who you may or may not have heard of. Leon Silvers, Dick Griffey, people like that. And then we got a little thing happening with Climax. A little thing happening with a group called Real to Real.
Yeah, that never seen light of day.
Well, few people actually have this record, Can You Treat Me Like She Does. Some people remember this record.
Yeah, it's a good record.
Good record. So that's how we kind of started, and then we decided that, we kind of like we were still doing it part-time because we were still in the time.
Yeah, but remember the first record we did?
What was the first record we did?
Remember we went to the studio at the yeah, still a club classic. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the jam.
We did that
we did that
for $100.
$100.
Chicken money.
That's right. Golden Bird.
That was $100 so we could eat for 2 weeks.
That's right.
We used to eat on $2.99 a day.
That's right. Golden Bird specials.
That's right.
2-piece, man.
Yep.
What you want? 2-piece.
2-piece of the biscuit. 2-piece of the biscuit. It's a prize.
When we first moved to LA, we didn't have no clothes except the clothes we had at the time. We had like wool suits and hats and everything. And we walked to Golden Bird every day. We come back and the police would stop us every day and they say, "Y'all ain't from here, are you?" We say, "How'd y'all know that?"
No.
So, hey, but that was the days. I mean, that's where everything started.
Exactly.
Top Flight Time got started. But we moved back to Minneapolis because, there was a lot of pressure in the studio being in LA. She was a new artist. And we moved back to Minneapolis, actually, we decided we'd stay there.
Exactly.
We'd stay there. So then we decided, let's do our own studio. Let's build our own studio. And I remember the first record we did at the studio was Tender Love. Force MDs. We did Tender Love, we did Saturday Love. We didn't have an engineer. We had the engineer walked out on us. He abandoned us. We did Tender Love, Saturday Love. Right around that same time, I think we was dealing with, we did Patty Austin. We did Howard Johnson. Not the hotel, but the artist.
Yeah, we did Xander.
Xander. Yep.
Xander.
And a lot of things. So by that time we were rolling. And then we really started rolling when the next artist dropped through. Artist by the name of Janet Jackson. Y'all know her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said she wants to be in control.
But the two of them have been friends for more than 50 years. They never signed a contract, just a handshake. You've known them for a long time. Do you think it's the friendship between Jimmy and Terry that enabled that magic to come out? Because they're the only ones because Babyface will admit that they were bandmates, they weren't best of friends compared to, say, Jimmy and Terry. Do you think that has something to contribute to just the magic that they can put out?
I do. I think it has a lot to do with that. I mean, they are truly brothers, man. Just, I mean, all these years, you probably know this, but, all these years, there's never been a piece of paper between them. There's no contract.
Wow.
There's no contract. We said we're going to do this. Let's do this. I remember very early on, Terry telling me about Jimmy. Wow, when they got their first royalty check. God, I hope they don't mind me telling this story. I don't think they will, but it's what happened. It's what he told me. They got their first big royalty check. It was like $15,000 each or something like that. And all Jimmy had been talking about, man, for months was a Corvette. He wanted a Chevrolet Corvette. And Jimmy, when Terry got his check, he gave the whole thing to Jimmy. Jimmy got his check. He gave, hey, man, I don't want you thinking about cars, man. I need you thinking about music.
Wow.
I mean, Terry's told me once, he said, Donnie, I'm telling you, man, he could have my skin if he needed it. And he means that, man. That's how close they are. So I don't see how that can't impact the music that we all get from them. It's a relationship, man, that I just envy. I think that anybody in business what would you give, wouldn't you give to have a relationship like that with your partner, that you can trust him to that level, man?
Wow.
Yeah, man. They have integrity. And that's, like, to me, one of the most important things you can have in life. I don't know anything more valuable.
Yeah.
Integrity. That leads to respect, but integrity, man, conviction, that you know who you are. You only do things a certain way, and people can trust that. They know who you are. I can't say enough about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They're the only guys that I've ever met in my life that, from the day I met them, I felt like we went to elementary school together.
Wow. Like
we were old friends instantly. I've never met anyone else like that. Just Jimmy and Terry. It's like, it's just these kindred spirits, man. I love them guys.
What's your favorite song by them?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. It's just like, that's my favorite Stevie song. I could narrow it down to a list of about 100.
Okay. Your top three, Jimmy and Terry. Okay, if you can't do one.
Wow. Well, I will give you one. I know theirs. Theirs is Optimistic. That's the most significant song in The Sounds of Blackness. In any interview, they will tell you that. That's, without doubt. But for me, I would probably say Alexander ONeal, Crying Overtime.
Terry, they have done so many songs, as I mentioned, from SOS Band, Sherilyn, Alexander ONeal. They have produced for Boyz II Men, Usher. I'm going to name some singles that they've written and produced that you might not even recognize. They wrote and produced You Remind Me for Usher in 2001, No More Drama for Mary J. Blige, 2001, Yolanda Adams, Open My Heart, 1999, Sounds of Blackness, Optimistics, 1991, and the big one is New Edition's. Well, they did the whole NE, well, they did probably 80% of the NE Heartbreak album, from If It Isn't Love, You're Not My Kind of Girl, but the big one was Can You Stand the Rain?
And we really watch to see if a song starts sounding like another artist's song. A lot of times we'll draw the line.
But they can never duplicate.
Nope, you gotta, on imitate and perpetrate, you need to put a big T on, like imitate.
Okay, big T.
On that and perpetrate.
Create, imitate and perpetrate.
Imitate, yeah, right, that's it.
Imitate.
Yeah, imitate.
The other people imitate and try their best to recreate where it all started from. So they only perpetrate, but they can never duplicate where it all started from.
Okay,
Jimmy and Terry are amazing. They did Bended Knees for Boys to Men, probably one of my favorite songs ever. Mariah Carey's Thank God I Found You. They did Tender Love, Saturday Night Love. But if I have to be honest to say who I thought and think are our greatest R&B producers, songwriters, by far would have to be Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And there's no competition between Jimmy and Terry, LA and Babyface, or Teddy Riley, because they all had different lanes, different markets, and they weren't competing against each other. They always tried to, push one another, but they all gave respect to Jimmy and Terry. I mean, the guys, their signature hats and suits. I mean, to be doing that for more than 50 years, keeping the same type of style and image in everything they do is just remarkable. So you've told me that Jimmy and Terry were telling you that, we listened to stuff and what you've done, but not.
And they had influenced me so long before that. They had influenced me as the kid in Kansas, listening to Sherelle, listening to Alexander O'Neal, listening to SOS Band. So how I layer my keys, I got all from Jimmy. And I tell him that to this day, like, bro, your whole style of layering keys is what I do. That's why You're Always on My Mind sounds so lush. That's why anything sounds so sexy and deep. I learned my lessons well from Jimmy, listening to his key. And that's why my bass lines are very, very prominent. Jimmy Jam is one of the dopest, coldest keyboard bass line playing people ever on the planet. Yeah. When you listen to that stuff is crazy. So, and then you got Let's Wait a While. That's a mood. That's a vibe. Funny How Time Flies. Are you kidding me? So you better believe anything takes its cues from that.
Yeah.
You see, aside
of that, as I said, going back to Jimmy and Terry, legends of the game. Congratulations for being inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, since the 80s up to now, you guys are a class above the rest, and we congratulate you, we salute you, and wish you all the best.
You didn't have this facility, so you did have to work in it.
We went to Atlanta to do the SOS Band. Some of it, the first one. Then the second one we did between Atlanta. We recorded the tracks in Atlanta and then came up here and did the vocals, but not on this board. We actually were working at a little small studio called Creation. But then by the third album, the Sands of Time album, then we had this and we did all that.
So did you guys know from the beginning that this is what you wanted to do, was to own your own studio?
Yeah, that was always the intention. We love the privacy, and we love to be able to go in and work whenever we feel like it. We're here from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the morning, whenever we want to be, So.
And that's the nicest thing about it, is because you're spontaneous and you never know when the idea is going to come to you.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to, I just thought of a good keyboard part for that song, and you just pull up and come in and do it.
So that's the reason you don't rent it out. I mean, so do one of you guys do more than the other? Well, that's not the question I want to ask. What I'm really trying to ask
What you trying to say, man?
Yeah, which one really does the work?
Which one really does the work?
No.
Well.
No, really. Are you more involved in the mix? Does Terry do more writing? Do you play more, or does it vary from cut to cut?
It varies. It varies from cut to cut.
He's a mix master.
I'm mix master.
He does the track mixing. I do a lot of the vocal mixing.
He's vocal master.
Yeah.
So usually we come in, and actually when we come in, usually Steve Hodge really does all the main mixing. He's the one that hooks all the wires up and does all that kind of stuff. When we come in, we listen to it, and I'm mix master, so I come in and go a couple little things, and it's fine with me. And then vocal master comes in and makes sure the vocals are right.
Yeah, but that's only because he usually cuts all the keyboard tracks, and he knows exactly what he wants it to sound like.
So it's just like a fact that I hear all the time. People say that they're good engineers for recording vocals. Other engineers are better at recording music. So the same thing applies to producers then.
Sure, exactly. And Steve Hodge, our engineer, kind of pulls everything together. I always like to say he's like the polish on the shoe. Like, we make the shoe, it can be a good shoe, but it's not going to sell unless it's clean and shine. And that's what he does to the mixes, is basically elevate it to that finished product level. It makes all our mistakes sound good. Okay, then we add in what we call the room tracks. This makes things sound even a little bit bigger. Now we're gonna put in Terry Lewis's part. He's the bass. And now we groove. I put a little, I played a little synthesizer along with him.
Now that's a synthesized bass on top of his natural bass.
Right.
Is that natural bass? Is that?
That's bass guitar.
Bass guitar.
All right. Guitar.
Guitar. Guitar.
G-O-O-D.
Guitar.
Okay, now we groove. We got the groove going now. So now we're gonna add in some keyboards.
You know, those are, little melody lines,
Yeah.
How did you feel it out and thing like that?
Thing like that there.